changing lives.
Good evening, lovely viewers, and welcome to another episode of the Consulting Room. The Consulting Room is where we bring you all the latest updates on your health. And we stream live from the studios of Hope Channel Ghana every Monday from 8 to 9 p.m. Thank you again for joining us. I'm Dr. Na Ayikako Inin. Today we delve into the silent killers, knowing them and avoiding them. So there are some diseases or conditions that start causing problems for us without even showing immediate signs or symptoms. How do we pick these things up? And even better, how do we even prevent them so they don't start causing problems for us before we notice? Tonight we have with us an expert who is going to share his knowledge on these diseases and how to prevent them, or even how to manage them if we have them. So with us in the studio we have Dr. Abraham Opong Nti, and he's a medical doctor who practices in Germany. Doc, you're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome back home.
Thank you.
Yeah. So as usual, you can reach us on our Facebook or YouTube platforms and also on our WhatsApp numbers. So feel free to share your comments and questions with us. We'd love to hear from you. And please stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Nyame eji nyame die yemfa ni jemrai Celestial City Choir CCC na tu en safre o se Celestial Exaltation 2023 nyame aduma open ma boso me de tosumienu afimpenu ne odonu mi esen nyame kire 2nd December 2023 brawate prempa assembly wo heya na betie dwom dejo CCC panyi kwanche for da no oresi amo se brawate oni se oka oyo edalo enyasem ketwa be pa so nko na wo ba 70 Ghana cedis. Some we any pamienu aye 120 Ghana cedis. Brawati na ye niji nkwa. Nyame ho jompa pebi. Ade ye 2nd December 2023. No na pepe ne adwumade ne ye de ahihye so. Enhwere sa akwanya wati na betie nyame ho jom brane me nyame so me madru ho Hallelujah. 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 Hallelujah.
Welcome back to the Consulting Room. Tonight we are discussing the silent killers, knowing them and avoiding them. And Dr. Abraham Opong Nti is going to talk all about these. Doc, you're welcome again.
Thank you.
How has your week been so far?
Yeah, it's been very busy.
Okay, I can imagine. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about the conditions that have been worrying us, and sometimes we are not even able to pick them up early.
Right.
So usually when there's a talk about living healthier, we hear about cholesterol or reducing our cholesterol. So what at all is cholesterol?
Yeah, cholesterol, we have so-called substrates for the metabolism through which we get our energy. The first place is the carbohydrate, and the second position is fat.
Okay.
And what we call fat is a small part of a group called lipoprotein, or we call them steroids. Steroid is also part of all these lipids. The lipid is the main, how do we call it, which describes the whole group.
Okay.
Cholesterol belongs to part of the lipids called steroids.
Okay.
Yeah. And one thing about cholesterol is that, that's why I believe that God initially gave us only plants to eat. He didn't give us meat. And we know, sometimes I hear people say cholesterol, some plants have cholesterol. Cholesterol is only found in the animal kingdom.
Okay.
No plant has cholesterol. And just to give a small picture about cholesterol, if you look at a plant cell, it has a cell wall, right?
Okay.
Made of cellulose. Come to the animal cell, it doesn't have this rigidity. This rigidity is gotten from the cholesterol blocks.
Okay.
So it is the part which holds the membrane, and it's just like building a house. These stones, these are the dangerous part of the animal cell.
Okay. So we talk about cholesterol like it's a bad thing. Is it all bad?
No, cholesterol is a basic element for a lot of things, especially hormones that we produce.
Okay.
Yeah, so it plays a very, very major role.
Okay.
The problem with cholesterol is that we, being part of the animal kingdom, we produce by ourselves cholesterol. And then when you eat flesh or when you eat meat, you are adding more cholesterol to what you're already producing.
Okay.
And this is where we got the problem.
Okay. Okay. So what can I do about my high cholesterol levels?
High cholesterol level, first of all, is sometimes genetic. You find that in a family.
Okay.
In such a family, they have a lot of problems with their cholesterol, like heart attack, stroke. Some families have this problem, and it is always good to check cholesterol level in such a family. If you want to avoid high cholesterol, it is, in most cases, you can avoid eating meat, like vegetarians, yes. But if it is genetic, if you eat meat or not, you're still going to get it high. Yeah, so it's a problem.
Yeah.
And some people say, oh, I bought meat, I just took all the fat out, I heated it and all the fat, and no, the cholesterol is part of the cell membrane, and you can never get it out, no matter what you do.
Okay. Okay. But are there some signs or symptoms that someone with high cholesterol might show or we might pick up as a doctor?
Yeah, that is the danger. The danger is that, cholesterol, when it is high, it comes to deposition in the blood vessels. And these blood vessels will be getting thicker, what we call atheroma. Okay. And when this atheroma is like a boil opens, this is where you get the problem. And then coagulation takes place and it blocks the vessel. This is what we call, for example, heart attack and stroke. The blood vessel is then blocked and no blood is flowing. Yeah. I'm coming to the point that at what point is that when it is closing, it can close the vessel to about 95%. You're not going to get any symptom. Wow. Yeah, that is the danger. So before you realize, it is then too late. That is why when you go to hospital, this is a basic check that we do to find the cholesterol level, the glucose level, and all these to make sure that you don't have too much cholesterol. Yeah. And if you have, then we have to treat it. Okay.
So you mentioned treatment. So we have the non-pharmacological and then pharmacological. You've mentioned some of the non-pharmacological ones. But for people who need medications, at what point will we say someone needs to be on cholesterol medications?
In the blood, the Lord God made everything so perfect. We have a range for example, if you have your blood pressure, you have a range. If you have glucose, you have a range. The same thing applies to cholesterol.
Okay.
And yeah, the cholesterol level in the blood, we tolerate 200
Okay.
milligram per liter.
Okay, so anything above that, then you'll be needing medication.
If it goes, yes. Sometimes we can always, for my patients, I tolerate even 250.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when it goes then up beyond 250, this is where I try to give medication. Yes, and nowadays we have good medication to treat high cholesterol level.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So will this person be taking it for life?
It depends. Sometimes you can correct it with diet, just like
Yeah.
But I have some patients. They say they want to enjoy their meat, so they want to take their medication. And you have some patients who say, okay, then I'm going to avoid meat. Cholesterol level is very high in meat. If you take fish, for example, you don't have so much cholesterol in it. Yes. So it depends on the decision of the patient. He can say, okay, I want to enjoy my meat, so give me the medication. Some patients say, oh, okay, I'm going to avoid meat and see how it is going. And surely it comes down in most cases.
Okay. So there are some people who are living healthy, they're eating good food, and maybe even vegetarian, but still have high cholesterol.
Yes, that's what I said from the beginning, that if they are unfortunately born with that genes, then no matter what they do, they have high level cholesterol.
Yeah, yeah. So you mentioned some things previously that high cholesterol will predispose you to. You mentioned the strokes,
right,
heart attacks.
Yes.
So I'm get hypertension and all those ones.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's go to hypertension.
Okay.
What is hypertension?
Hypertension, just like I said, every parameter in the body has a range.
Okay, right.
Yeah, the normal blood pressure is 120 to 80. And if it goes beyond that, this is hypertension is how do I say, it's just like when the blood vessels lose the elasticity. When we are growing, the blood vessels start losing the elasticity. That is why you find high blood pressure in most cases at the old age.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. But now you're having a lot of young people with high blood pressure. What could be the explanation for that?
Exactly. It could be eating habit, and nowadays we see that we don't do more exercise. We don't do sport. Even before, you can take a walk. You won't take trotro. You want to walk to a certain, if I'm going to Adabraka, for example, I just say, if I reach here and pass here, I will reach where I'm going very soon. We are not doing anymore. We are not doing that anymore. Now they say they have just dropping. You take a car from here and there, and we are not exercising,
right?
Or we are not doing sport. Then that is the problem, and we need that just to keep the circulation. And more when we have more circulation, the body gets enough blood supply. That's why sports, those people who do sports, they don't have that problem much.
Okay.
Except those with who want to match the macho, that kind of sport. It can also bring high hypertension. Okay.
So you mentioned some of them, but what are other risk factors for getting hypertension?
Okay, that's the first place. If you are not mobile, that's another place. And if you, for example, I said in the for your eating habit, if you we know that if you eat too much salt, for example, you can easily get hypertension. Salt plays a very major role in this kind of parameter.
Okay. Okay. And then I'm sure for people who have like a family history also, right?
Yes. Some people, yeah. And, you know, hormones also play a major role, you know. And we have other factors. Some people have, like you say, with that genetic. But in most cases, it's because we are not exercising and we are eating wrongly that these deposition of cholesterol, sugar, it makes the blood vessels lose their elasticity, you know, and that is the problem.
Okay. So what are some of the symptoms that someone might have if they have hypertension?
Oh, good question. Hypertension, when it starts, if you wake up in the morning, you have headache, and you think maybe you didn't sleep well. It's a very typical symptom. When you wake up in the morning and you have headache, and some people, when they have headache, they think maybe stress or something like that, and they take in medication, painkiller, and they think that it is gone. That is wrong. That is very dangerous, and this is what kills, because the pain will go down, but the pressure is still high. Before you realize you are at the intensive care unit, because because you can fall into coma. For example, brain hemorrhage, it can cause a whole lot of things, and not only that, you are making heart attack. You are making the heart works against force, you know, because the blood vessels are not they are narrow, and when they are narrow, blood cannot go through, and the heart has to use more force to pump blood through, and this is the danger that can cause heart attack. So if one has hypertension, it is very, very, the unfortunately thing is that in most cases we diagnose it accidentally. The people don't know. They think, oh, I'm fine, everything is fine, but that is very dangerous.
Yeah. So I'm thinking that it's very important for us to be checking our blood pressure regularly.
Yes.
But how often is good enough?
You can choose to check it anytime, 3 times a day. But if for example, as a doctor, I suspect hypertension, we do 24-hour check. So the person gets machine and it will be reading, even when in the night when sleeping, and then we see the average. And see. Yeah, and find it out.
Okay. So how will someone with hypertension be managed?
Oh, the danger, okay. We have a lot of medications for, yes. But in all cases, I always say sports is the best medicine. If you do sport, if you have a hypertension and you can do sports regularly, you can regulate it very well. Yes. But such conditions, hypertension and other, when we are growing at the old age, it comes automatic, and it is always advisable to take the medication. Yes. Okay. I say always, the first thing, if you have hypertension, the first thing you do in the morning is to take your tablet, even before eating. As soon as you get up, you brush your teeth, please take your medication because why? In the morning, such conditions are high. Hypertension, the pressure is high, sugar is high, because we are not, if you sleep, for example, the muscles are not active. And it makes a whole lot of problem.
Okay. So with diets, managing with diets, there's something we call the DASH diet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you can shed some light on that for us.
Yeah, this is the American, yeah, we have two kinds.
Okay.
We have the DASH. In Europe, we use the Mediterranean diet. Yes, they are almost the same. And yeah, we have not, excuse me, my German. We still have a third one that's called MIND. Yeah,
Okay.
it's a combination of the Mediterranean diet and DASH.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is simple to have your eating habit. You know, in the beginning, God gave us vegetables, we have fruits, and then we have legumes, nuts, yeah, and then salad, yeah, and another important thing of especially for Mediterranean diet is the olive oil, which is very rich of saturated oil.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So that's good oil.
Very good.
Okay.
Why very good? The unsaturated oils, they have some kind of, we call them covalent bonds. We call them radical catcher. What is a radical? When a particle is charged, it can cause, for example, cancer.
Okay.
And these oils that's why we call them radical. They catch them with their double bonds and then they neutralize them.
Okay. So there are some people who have been put on medications for their hypertension.
Yes.
But then sometimes they check their blood pressure and they realize that it's normal and they decide to go off the medications. What do you have to say about that?
That is very wrong.
Okay.
The medication is only there to keep the pressure at the physiological range. So if you think, oh, now I feel okay, my pressure is low and I want, as soon as you stop, it can get high without giving you any warning until you realize then you are in big trouble.
Okay.
Never stop taking medication.
Okay. So with uncontrolled hypertension, what are some of the other complications someone could have apart from the ones you've mentioned?
Yeah, hypertension that can affect a lot of organs. For example, typical, our kidneys. You know,
Yeah.
It because when the vessel is contracted, blood is not going. You know, and we see a lot of shrink kidneys, and they have to go to dialysis. You know, and that's the problem. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So it affects almost every organ in the
Yes.
system. Right. So hypertension and diabetes go hand in hand. Yeah. So now let's touch on diabetes a bit.
Okay.
When would you say someone is diabetic?
Yeah, diabetic. Okay, that is also it's all in the in the blood. Yeah, you call it typical physiological term is the hyperglycemia. Yes, that you see blood level is high and it stays high and it destroys. You know, these two components, these two diseases, they destroy the blood vessels. You know, what we call, we have micro and macro for the blood vessels. We have small blood vessels and the big blood vessels. All these conditions could be worsened by these, for example, diabetes and hypertension.
Okay.
In the first place is that you see the eye. For example, if you have sugar, you can oh come on in Europe. That's what that's the problem. Most of the people who go in for eye operation, they are diabetic or they have hypertension.
Yeah.
Yes, you can see that if we call a fundoscopy. If you look into the back of the eye, you see all these changes taking place. And until you realize you don't see, you could be blind.
Yeah. So that's like what happens later
Yes.
in diabetes.
Yes.
Right? Okay. Okay.
If not treated.
Okay. Okay. But what could predispose someone to diabetes?
Diabetes. We have type 1, type 2.
Okay.
Yeah, in the young age, maybe they had problem with their pancreas, where we have the islets of Langerhans, which produces the insulin, and when they can, sometimes they get pancreatitis or such condition, and sometimes even those people could be born with.
Okay.
Yes, and then we have the type 2, which is at the old age, and people think no, that type 2 they in most cases they even overproduce insulin. This is what we call insulin resistance, and from experience you can get, because you have grown, you have developed, you don't need much food. Overeating and the type of food now, the junk food that we've been taking in, it's a whole lot. Yes, and let me mention it very serious, listeners who are listening. Now, stress that we have, we go home late and we eat late, and it is these are the muscles. The glucose is the fuel for the muscles. If you sleep, the muscles are not working, and then it stays in the blood. The next morning the blood, the sugar level is still high, and you take breakfast, you make it higher, and this is how. So late eating. That's why I advise people after 5 o'clock in the evening, if possible, 4 o'clock. If you do not eat, you have your health against hypertension and against diabetes. Yeah. Very serious. But it's not easy for people to, yes. But if you can cope with it, you have your health.
Right, right. Are there any symptoms again for diabetes?
Diabetes, when it starts, some people, we call it polydipsia. Polydipsia is too much water drinking. You get very, very thirsty in a short time. If you don't, by the day, you can drink about 5 liters. And you think, oh, water is good, and I'm there. And the more you drink, you also urinate more. This is a typical symptom of that. That's how it starts. And until you realize that you feel weak, and then you go to the hospital and it is tested, and you see that the sugar level is very high.
Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes it is. For example, when patients come to my clinic, when I run a check, I include all these possible things. All these, we call it HbA1c. This is of German.
Okay.
HbA1c.
Okay.
And this is the parameter for sugar level. This is. If you take at the finger, this is the short-term sugar. Yeah. But the long-term, taking history of your sugar level, the last 6 weeks or the last 3 months is this HbA1c.
Okay. Can diabetes be cured?
Good question. You can help yourself to lower your sugar level. If you take the measures I'm saying, if you don't eat late, you avoid everything that is sweet in the mouth. You are limited to eat fruits. Yes, and if you do, then if you take a walk, it's very, very good. I'm talking from evidence-based. How my patients, when they follow, because when they follow, the one thing is that when they follow the instructions, the next time they come in Germany, you have the possibility to check your distance, your health every 3 months. Those people who have that cases every 3 months. When they come, you see when it goes up or when it comes down. And then when you question, this is where you find out. But I can warn viewers, please. I hear that plantain is good for, don't eat plantain that much.
Okay.
No. Yes.
Right.
I'm very serious. And they say plantain has ions, and of course it has all these elements, but the iron content is not that much that people think. Plantain is 0.6 gram, 0.6 gram ions. You know, they don't know why we call it ions. When we were at school, and the day we're going to eat plantain and we come late from classes, the pantrymen, they have served everything, and the plantain is so hard. And this is when we say we're going to eat iron. Yes, but it's not because of the iron content. It has iron, but not that much that people think.
Okay, okay. So you're talking about plantain. Is it the ripe or unripe, or whichever one?
Oh.
Okay.
If it is ripe or unripe, the content is starch, and from my own, it's not that what people write, but from I had a patient. He was having about 12 point something HbA1c, and I asked him always. I couldn't correct. I asked him, "What do you eat?" And he said, "Doctor, plantain ya navidi." He said, "What?" Okay, then you have to stop. And he stopped, and you can't believe it.
I see.
It kept up. You can just if you have such condition, do that, and the next time you go to check up, you will find that it has fallen. Yes.
Right. So we dwelt. You wanted to say something?
A diabetic, you know, our main food that we eat is the carbohydrate. So if you can limit the consumption of carbohydrate, for example, if you are eating apicé, you can take small portion, but the other thing, you can take more sauce. You can make plenty, or you can take, for example, fish, that you can, and then you concentrate on that more. You take low carb. That's how we do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Right. So we've dwelt a lot on the diet and then exercise.
Yes.
But in terms of medications,
Yeah.
what type of medications would they need?
In which one do you?
For diabetes.
For diabetes.
Yes.
Oh, currently we use medication which targets the kidneys.
Okay.
You know, if you go to the Boban capsule, the blood is then, you know, sorted out, and then it goes through the whole kind of tubules and all the. This medication that we have at the moment, it doesn't allow the reuptake or the resorption, back into the bloodstream.
Okay.
It keeps all the sugar content in the urine.
Okay.
So that's people, and yes, and it is very powerful. At the moment, it's expensive. Yes, yes. So we call it dapagliflozin.
Okay.
Yeah, and then it takes the sugar content, maintain it in the urine. So the sugar level in the blood is fallen.
Okay.
And it has been very effective, especially when one has other case like heart failure. We give it to those people who have sugar and at the same time heart failure. It helps a lot. Yes, yes.
Okay. But in your practice, do you use metformin as well?
Metformin is the standard worldwide. And we have other combination, which at the moment we combine more. You know, zitagliptin, for example, we combine. These are all the GL. I don't want to go into the medical terms. Yes, and it helps to metformin helps a lot. Yeah, in all aspects.
Yeah.
Yes, it helps the production of insulin. It helps the intake. You know, we those diabetes is targeted in most cases. It's not a matter of giving insulin. No. It's a matter of conditioning the patient that we call something downing regulation.
Okay.
If you give too much sugar to the body, the body, when it is hungry, something that the receptors come out ready to take in. If you give them too much and they are satisfied, they don't come out and take, and the sugar remains in the bloodstream. And this is the diabetes. And you can produce a lot of insulin as you like. And sometimes they develop what is called insulin resistance. And that is not good.
Okay. So it's known that people with diabetes usually have very poor wound healing. When they get sores, it takes forever to heal. What's happening?
Yeah, because the blood vessels, the small blood vessels, they are all gone.
Okay.
Yeah, and at the same time, diabetes belongs to conditions where the immune system is weakened. That's why they get. Sometimes that's how we diagnose. They get abscess in the armpit, and such patients, when they come, check diabetes. Yes, because the immune system is not all that okay anymore. Yeah. So when they get wound, have you ever seen a diabetic food?
Yeah.
It's very
very bad.
Yeah, very bad.
Yeah. Right. Thank you so much, Doctor.
And because they don't get also the perfusion, the blood is not flowing. The blood vessels are all Yes.
Right. So there's one particular condition we don't talk much about, but we seem to be seeing more of that in the hospital setting, the pulmonary embolism or lung embolism.
Okay. Lung embolism is a very serious condition. And for example, if someone travels long distance, sitting down in the plane for hours, where you sit and the blood is not flowing, and it comes to a situation where blood clot, they get blood clot, and this blood clot, when it gets from the place where it is clotted into the lungs, and that's what we call occlusion. It closes the lung artery, and that's a very serious situation. If the people can quickly die.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So you can find that, especially when you take the history or you're trying to find out, and it affects also much more about the women who take anti-baby pills.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
This is they are the most people affected. Yes. And when you travel long distance, or when you see too much, you don't do exercises, and there are also families which have that problem. We call it thrombophilia.
Okay.
They have some factors defect,
Yeah.
and it can cause embolism. Is not good.
So what are some of the symptoms you might pick up with someone with that?
Yeah, the symptoms are very, very serious because they start developing dyspnea. You know, they can't breathe.
Okay.
And when they cannot breathe, the heart is working very fast, and then so it is very if you have such case, you have to check the shock index. So that is what we call it.
Okay.
The systolic. So you have to know the systolic is falling. You know, and then the patient is breathing very high, but oxygen level is also falling. It's not a good situation. And if a doctor is not around to diagnose it very quickly, that's where the patients die.
Yeah.
Yes. And you know what I do?
No.
For example, if I heart attack, these are the vascular diseases. These are the most serious diseases. And you Yeah, I take all that I need. This common. I take aspirin. We have aspirin liquid, you know, injection, and then all that I need is my heparin or Clezane. Yeah, if I give it, you see the patient coming back. Yeah, coming back, and yeah, it's very serious situation.
Yeah.
But to diagnose it, then it's a whole lot of help for the patient. Otherwise, the patient will die.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like heart attack. You know, if you a patient, I hope that some doctors and medical students, you know, do you know typical symptom of a heart attack when they come to the emergency room?
The chest pain.
Chest pain. They don't say they only have chest pain. They hold their heart. So as if they want to save their own heart. Yes, and this is a situation where you need to act very quickly.
Yeah, yeah. But can it be prevented?
Yeah, sure. It's just like we discussed already. Heart attack is nothing than when the cholesterol, we call it atherosclerosis. When the position of cholesterol in the blood vessel and it closes the blood vessel, then it's gone.
Yeah.
It gives sometimes symptoms. You know, if you are climbing staircase and you feel quickly tired, you can't, and they walk, they have to stop. Yes, this is CHD, coronary heart disease.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's a situation which they need to be checked before, because it doesn't close, it goes slowly, slowly until it closes. But it can close to 80% of the blood vessel lumen, but you won't feel anything. And one day, when the atheroma ruptures, then it's gone.
Yeah, yeah. Right. Thank you so much for this, Doc. For us, some of us, it's a reminder. For some people, it's new knowledge. So thank you so much for this.
You're welcome.
Yeah, but we'll go for a quick commercial break, and when we get back, we'll continue with our conversation. Please stay tuned.
Life can be challenging, and sometimes it's hard to find hope, even in the midst of difficulties. But even in our darkest moments, there is always a glimmer of light.
The Adventist Church, mission-driven purpose, and Hope Channel brings to you Living with Hope,
A 9-day transformational Bible lecture series. Keynote speaker, Pastor Kojo Chumesi. Health and wellness, Dr. Kennedy Donko. Marriage and family life, Pastor Samson Chumesi. And empowerment development, Dr. Kofi Chumesi.
coming to you live from the Penkwase Adventist Church, Sunyane, Living with Hope. 9 days of transformation and empowerment, starting on the 1st to 9th December 2023, 6:30 p.m. each night, live in all Seventh-day Adventist churches and also on Hope Channel and its social media handles. Share the word, tell a colleague, invite a friend. Living with Hope.
Hope Channel is my favorite Christian channel. The best thing about this is that you can have it everywhere you go. All you need to do is to download the Hope Channel app on your Play Store or Apple Store and get all the programs you want to watch.
Back to the consulting room. We're talking about various conditions that could cause different problems for us that we might not even know about. And Doc has been able to talk to us about a lot of them. We've spoken about hypertension, diabetes, high cholesterol levels, and lung embolisms. We are wrapping up, but we have a question from one of our viewers, and the person wants to know that for a 10-year-old with high cholesterol, will they need to be on medication?
As of frankly speaking, I haven't treated a child with high cholesterol. Yeah, because cholesterol, what it does is just like said, it goes to the blood vessels and make it loses its elasticity. Children don't have that problem. No matter what, they are too young, and the blood vessels are now still elastic. Children, they have elasticity everywhere. Even when they break their bone, you don't know they don't. In most cases, you don't see that it is dislocated. So it's not advisable.
Okay.
No.
Okay. So, and also with hypertension, you mentioned that salt is a very high
risk it plays a very long.
Yes. So should I avoid salt completely to avoid hypertension?
If you could. But how can you eat tasteless? With that salt, it's tasteless. But to reduce the salt content, you can titrate it, that you feel that now I can have some taste in the food. If even you have hypertension and you do that, it is very wonderful. The hypertension comes down. Yes, salt plays a very major role.
Okay, right.
So if you it's advisable if you have hypertension, reduce your salt consumption.
Right. So we've spoken about salt in relation to hypertension. For diabetes, it goes with sugar.
Yes.
So does avoiding sugar prevent you from getting diabetes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. That's why I said if someone has diabetes, everything that is sweet in the mouth should be avoided. Your food is vegetables and then salad. Yeah, it's not like the salad people say they know with cream and no. This is yes, pure salad is leaves and all that. Yeah.
Right.
And don't eat late. It is very, very wonderful if you can practice it. You don't eat late after 5 o'clock. At latest, after 5 o'clock, you don't eat anything more. You will be shocked the next time you check your sugar. Yeah.
Yeah, but back to the salt. How much salt is too much?
It's better to say how much salt can I make my food taste a little bit that I can enjoy my food. To take a certain amount is not indicated. It depends on you yourself. If you can avoid it completely, you have your hypertension down, very, very down. You can try. Anyone listening can try that. Try it 1 month. Yes. This is how what I'm saying is what I see from my patients.
Yeah.
When they cooperate and they comply and they say, okay, I'm going to try, and they are very happy when they can solve their problems with these simple methods. You don't need to buy medication anymore so much, and you feel good too. You feel that now I have my health.
Yeah.
No sugar, because when you are coming to the world, you came with 1 bag sugar, 1 bag salt. You have at your age, you have consumed everything. So the rest is just at the old age, just bear it. Yeah.
Right. So on the flip side of hypertension, you have hypotension.
Hypotension, yeah.
Yeah. What causes that?
This hypotension is especially by women. In most cases, the hormone. Yeah. But it is not. Hypotension is they live longer. Yeah. If you have hypotension and their problem is that they have dizziness. Yeah, there's or they have so-called orthostatic dysregulation. Their blood vessels cannot hold the blood when, especially when they get up abruptly or when they stand for a long time. Yes, but it's a condition which usually, if you want to raise that, you can give them salt,
right?
which you don't want.
Yeah, okay, right. So you've said a lot, but we'll take your final words to our viewers.
Yeah.
So if you can give us your final words.
Oh, my final word is that your health is how you make it.
Your health is how you make it. The doc has said it all. Your health is how you make it. We've heard how we can prevent these conditions. Diet and exercise. The doc has stressed a lot on that. Diet and exercise. I know it gets very difficult sometimes with our busy schedules, but by all means, you can fit in some exercise, a quick walk, or not sitting for long hours, eating healthier. And with the grace of God, we can avoid these conditions or even try and deal with them better. We should also remember to do our regular checkups. For most of these conditions, without checking your health or checking these parameters, you wouldn't know you have them. So let's make sure that we have our regular checkups. We shouldn't wait till we feel sick before we go to the hospital. Let's try and visit the doctor to get all these things checked regularly to make sure that we are living very healthy lives. Thank you so much for joining us today on the consulting room, and we hope to see you again. Have a good night.